Here we are once again in the Masked Fan Attic, and I see you somehow got up here ahead of me again this week. The Masked Fan Attic, where strange and mysterious, unexplainable things happen. Like, for example, just a second ago, I had a flashlight in my hand. Now, suddenly, it's a candle. How is that possible? Nobody knows, because it's one of the many mysterious mysteries of the Masked Fan Attic. Anyway, moving right along toward masks, let's see what we have up here this week in the Masked Fan Attic. Goodness gracious me, it's none other than the old Be Something Studios Phantom, or Fantome, or Fantome. I'm not sure how one is supposed to pronounce it, but it's typically spelled F-A-N-T-O-M-E, like a book written by a fan might be called a Fantome. Or like in the sentence, it's so warm in here, why don't you hand that fan to me? See, that's how you'd spell it in that case. Although in the 1979 catalog, the E disappeared and it was simply F-A-N-T-O-M. Then it went back to F-A-N-T-O-M-E during its run in the early 80s. Now, the old Fantome here is a mask that, well, you need in your Friday the 13th collection, if you have a Friday the 13th collection. If you don't have a Friday the 13th collection, you don't need this mask in your Friday the 13th collection. However, if you do, Friday the 13th Part 2 made a star out of Fantome, or Fantome, or whatever he's called, by using him in a scene in which people are telling scary stories about Jason around a campfire, and then a guy wearing a mask jumps up to scare everybody, and does scare everybody in the scene. And this is the mask they used in the prank in the film. So he's part of Jason history right there. When I was a kid, I thought he was supposed to be London After Midnight. Not the film, the vampire character from London After Midnight. Because I had monster movie books and magazines and stuff, and I knew about those teeth, and I just thought, I was a kid, all right, enough about that. But anyway, now some copies of Fantome? Some copies of this guy had a silvery gray hair instead of the white hair like this one. Actually, I like the silver gray hair look a little better myself, just because, if for no other reason, today the white hair on this one kind of makes him look like a serious version of the evil scientist on Robot Chicken. But you wouldn't have thought that in 1981 when Friday the 13th Part 2 came out and used him to scare the kids at the campfire. Now, people think that the one in Friday the 13th Part 2 had the silvery gray hair, but it actually didn't. It was actually a white-haired one that was customized. I don't know why, but my best guess is because he pops up in a dark scene and he's just, well, he's against a flat black night sky background. Maybe the white just looked a little too stark, a little too extreme, a little too high contrast. So what they did to take that down a little and still give him some distinction and make sure the hair showed up, they sprayed it, and I assume, I don't know what they used, hairspray, hair dye, maybe cheap spray paint from the neighborhood Kmart, I don't know. If you want to customize yours, I recommend a hair dye, or possibly paint through an airbrush, could be used, but you want to be sure and mask this off, no pun intended, so that you don't get black or gray on the skin. But anyway, they masked it off with something, and they got gray or black paint in the hair on the sides. But they left sort of a skunk stripe on the top of about maybe 3 inches or so, about like that. He's right down the middle. He's got a big white skunk stripe all the way down the back, but then the dark gray or black or whatever they used on the sides was what he had. So if you want to do yours up to look like the one from Friday the 13th Part 2, you'll want to use some dark gray or black hairspray or something along those lines to customize it. I may do that to this one, but I'm a little reluctant because it's kind of cool because he's all minty and such at this point. But anyway, that's your mask find in the Masked Fan Attic this week. The old Be Something Fantome. Well, you get the idea. Yeah. Now, so that's enough talk about him. Now it's time for you to help me clean this attic up. Come on.